Hi everyone, it's Miss Naima. So as you all know, you have been reading with me for your class key text this term about Victorians from the book Eyewitness Victorians so far. So from today, we are going to read from a new chapter book about Victorians and the lives of Victorians, which is called The Secret Diary of Jane Pinney. And just to test your reading and listening knowledge, we will also be answering some comprehension questions at the end, so you can put your answers on tapestry. Okay, so let's get started and read together. So, The Secret Diary of Jane Pinney. Day 1. This morning I was talking to Plump, the big fat pigeon what lives on the ledge outside my bedroom window, and he says I should keep a diary. What? Me? I says. Yes, you, he says. But I'm just a maid, I says. You're a human being, he says, and gives me one of them head-bobbing pigeon stares that you can't argue with. So what? I says. Everyone's a human being. Then Plum gives me another one of them stares. Sorry, I says, but you know what I mean. There ain't nothing special about me. You're someone who's not satisfied with your lot, says Plum. You're a girl going places. I'll still be just a maid, I remind him. You're friends with the talking pigeon, ain't you? Says Plum, now pacing up and down his ledge. Don't that make you special? I smile. I suppose it does, I says, but I still can't write no diary. Why not? He says. 'Cause I can't write much more than me name, I says. Plump tilts his pigeon head to one side, like he always does when he's having a really serious think. I have an idea, Jane, he says, a bloomin' brilliant idea. He calls me Jane 'cause that's my name, Jane Pinney. What? I says. You tell me what to write and I'll write it for you, he says. I laughs. Pigeons can't write, Plump, I says. Pigeons can't talk neither, can they? He says. But that ain't stop me. True, I agree. So you'll keep a diary, deal? He says. Deal, I says, and I ain't about to break my word to me bestest friend. Now, you will realize that there is a small number next to some of the words. So a number means um, some of the words are really tricky to understand. So at the bottom of the page, of the page of the tricky numbered words, there is a small definition. So number one, the definition for that is Plum's grammar was far from perfect. So we suggest you don't write the way he did. So Plum, as you know, it's a talking pigeon. Well, not a real talking pigeon, but a talking pigeon, imaginary talking pigeon to Jane, the maid. So he can't really talk, but in Jane's head, the pigeon can actually really talk. And the pigeon's grammar is not that good. That is why some of the words, as you can see here, are quite tricky to read. Okay, day 2, day diary. Is that what I'm supposed to say? Day diary? I don't know, but that's what Tommy, the butcher's boy, told me when he bought the meat. Again, there's a number 2, so let's see what number 2 means. Deliveries were often made by errand boys carrying baskets or pushing carts. Uh, I didn't make no mention of a talking writing pigeon, of course, or I might end up in the madhouse, and it's as good a way to start as any, so here goes. Dear Diary, my name is Jane Pinney. I think I've already said that, and I'm about to have an interview to become a maid in a big house in the country, which is why my feathery friend reckons I should keep his diary. I've been a maid here in the town for 2 years, but it's about time I move on. Okay, average length of maid work for an employer was 3 years, but maids who were the only servants in a middle class household often moved on sooner. I has a friend, Mary, who already works in Litton House, which is the house I was talking about, and she's recommended me to Mrs. McNamara, housekeeper. That means they won't have to advertise or go to a registry office. The registry office is an agency with servants looking for work can register, which I'll save them a bob or two. So a bob means a shillings is a shilling. In Victorian times, UK money was pounds, shillings and pence. They were 12 pennies to a shilling and 20 shillings to the pound. A guinea was £1 and 1 shilling. That's a really weird word to use for shilling or pence. Plus, there ain't no registry office for me to meet Mrs. McNamara and she won't give me no job without meeting me first. I have to be at Lytton House. I have to be at Lytton House tomorrow afternoon at 3 o'clock, it being me half day. Today I have to do my usual chores for Mrs. Berry. Being a maid of all work, I does just about everything. I think the name says it all work. I do all the work. I clean, and cleaning means dusting everywhere, scrubbing floors, walls, tables, tiles, steps, and stairs. Okay, number 6. So it said it being me half day. So many maids will still have to fit in 10 to 12 hours of work before an afternoon off. So maids work very, very hard back in the Victorian ages, working day in, day out to the best of their abilities. Beating carpets, washing clothes, sheets, and curtains, blacking the range. A range was a built-in cast iron stove which was traditionally kept blackened with polish, a messy and pleasant job. Washing the pots and pans and plates. I even bring up the coal from the coal cellar, which makes smuts and blacks seem like nothing. Blacks were the Victorian name for the large pieces of soot which came out of houses' chimneys, floating around in the air and landing on people's clothes, leaving terrible black smudges. Very horrible indeed, making clothes look very dirty and black. You name it, I does it, except cook. Mrs. Berry has Mrs. Hansard, the cook, do that for her, but that's not to say I haven't chopped every vegetable you can imagine and then some. But Mrs. Hansard has never let me boil so much as a pan of water. I reckon she's worried I'd find it a lot easier than she tried to make it out. Even I can't burn water. I'm up before 6 and in bed after 10. But Mrs. Berry has always been nothing but kind to me. And the one time in my life when I was ill, she sent me straight to bed and had Mrs. Hansard bring me soup. That's something that Mrs. Hansard has never forgiven me for. What with her being cook and me being nothing but a maid of all work, and her waiting on me like a lady. But who'd have brought it to me if not her? Certainly not Mrs. Berry herself. I'm not sure if there is a Mr. Berry, dear diary. I mean, there must have been once, but not in the 2 years I've been here, and no one ever talks of him. Maybe he was an axe murderer, or very boring, or even a very boring axe murderer. I'm a bit nervous about tomorrow. I am, but I do think it's time to move on and up in the world. I have plans. Okay, we are going to read day 3 tomorrow. So what I will do now is give you some comprehension questions to answer from the pages that we have just read together. So get a pencil and paper ready to jot down your questions. So remember, you can always go back to the page and rewind the video to look for your answers for the pages that we've just read together. So your comprehension question number 1 is, you can try your best to answer the questions. You don't have to if you can't answer them, it's fine. So number 1 is, what is the name of Jane's pigeon? So Jane was the maid that we've just talked so far. And question number 2 is, what is the name of the house where Jane's interview will take place tomorrow? So question 1 is, what is the name of Jane's pigeon? And question 2 is, what is the name of the house where Jane's interview will take place? Remember to put your answers on Tapestry. I look forward to all your answers. Thank you very much for listening today. I hope you enjoyed reading that together with me. Bye.